All right, party people, we're gonna bring to you the early version. This is just something based on the parts that I was able to get for my multi DPS, Firecrest, Tactician, and Reclaimer build. And we're introducing to you like this. Basically, going into the character format. Dog Zone DPS build, not so much defense, but offense. Obviously, as you see, the high firearms, balancing it out a little bit with enough electronic to run. Basically, what are heals, and I will fluctuate around between the healing hive and the healing chemical launcher. Sometimes I'll fluctuate. It'll still be the hive, but I may actually use the stinger hive because that's actually a good fence while you're in cover, or if you FaceTiming somebody, you got extra firepower that's going to come in on you. You already see the armors at 15068, health 42, 161, skill power 756, which is moderate to low skill power, and so forth. Going into the next phase will be my pre-Firecrest. All right, obviously this Firecrest can tangle a little bit. As you see, I still got good hitting capability with my firearms. However, the change has come with the skill power being at 3985, and that's to make sure that all my skills are running rampant and so forth. Just a brief overview going into the process. If you look at the stats right here, we see my turret is actually doing 3,000 damage. I got 64 health on it. Plus, like I say, if I use any health skills and swap out between the two, I got both offense. This is kind of the same way I used to roll my Firecrest in the Division 1. However, I was 10,000 and it was a number of other things that were high, which is what I'm going to try to get to here. 10,000 is not going to be the equal math, but whatever Division 2's math is, basically that's where we're going to be heading at, especially at Tier 5, once those other parts come out and once I start rolling off skills specifically built for my Firecrest that I can fluctuate from that point on out. Going over to my Seekers, that damage is 63,065. Cooldown 81 seconds, which by the way, if we go back here, let me see, my cooldown is 108 seconds. So if I pop that, sometimes I can get halftime that cooldown if I pop it before it ends, within that scenario and stuff like that. Also, let's go back to the DPS build for one quick second. One thing I did not cover is basically my guns. I'm currently running my MP7. Obviously, I haven't got the tactical vector yet that I want. And FYI, before obviously that became a meta, when I saw the small version, and you could look at some of my old YouTubes and my old videos of Division 2s from the beta on out, I was like, man, I love the RPM on that thing, and it takes down the NPCs. Lo and behold, come to find out, there we go. We got another meta gun, which is crazy. One of my other builds on my other characters, I'm running, what is it? It's I forget the gun, but I'll go to that build once we go on that. This is actually my second build, so I just tuned this one up, threw on the 450 parts right out the back at 30 that I got on this one. But I'm running the MP7. You already see, the common damage, the RPM of the MP7. It handles pretty smooth. So if I briefly go here just to show you. No, MP7. You know, nice rip. You see the consistency. And this is all body shots that I'm doing. Well, that's headshot a little bit. All right, boom, headshot. Look at that. Nice. Okay. As secondary character, we are running the FirstBuild F5 Para. And you know, that one hits pretty nice. It hits a little bit harder, but the RPM a little bit less. Not a big problem. I've taken down some, you know, nice heavies. FaceTime, some nice heavies, and beat the FaceTime within that process. You see the skills that I'm using right now. This is all random stuff that I have not modded. There are a lot of things that I would start shifting and taking out to adjust to that, going back to the MP7, same thing with that, using steady-handed right now. Obviously, that is not the best road that I would want with that MP7. As you know, you got that RPM, you want something that stacks or something that counts with that crit hit. Really nice. Okay, so going back to my Firecrest, which obviously I'm an ultimate skill build. I started with support with the skill builds in Division 1. When my boy showed me about the game, and I was like, oh man, this is a nice game. So I came in there, you know, even though they would help me with the builds and stuff like that, I started out helping them since I was lower, and one of those lower benefits was I ran skills a lot. From Reclaimer, and then when I started getting more offensive skill, that's when I got into the Tactician Firecrest, which the Firecrest was the elite of my skill builds as far as offense. Ripping out Cronus players, the whole 9 yards, pissing them off. You know, they're like, oh, why you got to drop a turret? You know, why you got to shoot a gun? You know, I'm like, you know, it's like, come on, man, grow up. All right, but at the end of the day, this is where we at now. Obviously, where we going to be at, you see that red? That's going to be my yellow. And then the yellow is probably going to be more so the red. The yellow and the red will swap with a little bit of shield, but I'm gonna try high end because, you know, obviously when we're running, I'm gonna be running with probably 2 or more DPS players, and I'll be this predominant skill build, or we might do 2 and 2. Two DPSs, shield build, skill build, you know, might combine it a little bit and stuff like that. But we're going to have a lot of variations when it goes to the PvP, which, FYI, please, Division, get that PvP together, man. Increase that dock zone. Let's have a big dock zone as big as the real world, because that's all most players like us do, is hit that DZ. And we come on the game, we play the missions to get the DZ gear and to stay in the DZ all day. Every now and then we'll come back out to do, you know, what in the old division, what will be legendaries, to get some exotics and special gear, which, FYI, you know, we kind of need that, not just for mods. So make sure that you include stuff like that in our dailies. We don't want to do, and this is not everybody, this is me, some of the people that I roll with. We don't want to do the dailies, and the dailies just is nothing but me accomplishing a mission that you wanted me to accomplish, because it's a daily. I want to do the dailies with meaningful dimension to it. For an example, I will do the dailies voluntarily without it being a daily if it gives me stuff that I want, that I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of modifications and changes you need to do in the gifts. Your rewards are completely whack. I wouldn't have half of the random good gear that I have right now if it wasn't for me and my boys taking turns, helping each other out, dropping parts for each other. My farming is predominantly by my friends. We drop gear with each other. Most people know that in the division. Your drop rate, especially for missions like, you know, one of the things I was evaluating with the rogue system, we're in there, we go manhunt, and we choose the option, up the manhunt for greater reward. And it was parts that were lower than freaking 450, and we were all tier 4 based gear sets. And I'm like, how is that a reward? You give us parts that are 3 something to even 2 something. We got like 250 something, 280, 290 parts within getting that manhunt off. Come on, Division. You increase the NPC's ridiculousness. Unbelievable. But you don't increase the reward to be comparable with that. If that was the case, if I kept going through sessions where we're fighting NPCs and going through and they're melting us and they're flanking us like, computer science and geniuses. However, one little insert to that, the people that we got to protect, like the little agents in the mission that are running with a freaking handgun, are running into the NPCs. Really? You make the NPCs freaking brilliant and what they do and flanking you and everything, but you make the people that we got to protect and difficult missions and stuff like that run right into a gun or run their face right into a bullet. I mean, come on, man. That's not a wise way to do, something to say, oh, it's not easy. Nah, not easy does not mean be stupid, with the programming and stuff like that. Give us some smart players. Let it be a button or something, or we point at the NPCs and click something, and that draws them to say, get behind us. You know what I'm saying? At least get behind us, because the NPC is gonna flank anyway, so we can then go and take out whatever we need to do, or defend them until we need to defend them to the next part of the mission and stuff like that. That's just a little insert. All right, going back. This is pretty much build based, so we're gonna go back now. Next brief overview, since we went from my Firecrest Tactician. My Tacticians and Firecrest typically are rolled the same way with the skill power, which means I didn't change much. The major change is I'm running, instead of a fire turret and seekers, I'm running a bullet turret and bullet drone, basically. Go there. You pretty much, like with the bullet turret, you got 31, a little bit less than the fire, but it shoots in all directions. FYI, another note, why y'all messing me up? You do all kinds of stuff for DPS players, firearms and gun mods and gun talents and stuff like that. Why y'all mess my fire turret up to make it shoot like a sprinkler, man? Really? As soon as I lay it down, everybody just goes to the side. NPCs and players alike. Really? Really? That's what you want us to do with the fire? I mean, look, if you want us to play all of your gear set, I was one of the people that, I had DPS builds, hands down. Probably my top DPS builds was my Banshee, my Predator, and one of my Alpha Bridges. Those were probably my top straight, almost 8, 9, and 10K firearms builds in Division 1. My defensive DPS builds, which was the Manhunt Keeper, obviously was the Nomad, and I didn't depend on multiple procs. I had one proc, but my Nomad was so strong that all I needed was that one proc to just extend it. And by the time, if they even proc me, if it was like 4 or 5 players with some heavy firearms that caught me in a corner or something like that, that proc would be used to get out of that corner and keep going. And then I would just keep that thing going, as you see all my old YouTube videos, for hours at a time, holding the manhunt for the team to come back and just start melting people. All right, but going on into that, again, like I said, the bullet turret is 3169, and I'm running the drone bullet, basically, the striker. So I got a bullet on the ground and I got bullet in the air. So basically, the bullet on the ground keeps our location, proficient, and that's going to be drilling it way harder once I do the electronics like I want to do it with the right perks and so forth. And then the drone is just going to keep the airways moving. As we move, I'm going to always have that. If we have to get on the go and move, that drone is going to irritate people, make them use med kits, the whole 9 yards, and keep things moving. These are just base models. I fluctuate between my scales with any of my scale builds all the time. And as you'll see between these differential patterns. All right, going to my reclaimer. Almost the same concept, same build. I'm not going to go to full detail, but just to give you an example, there will be parts between these that change, like obviously the reclaimer, I'm not using any of the turrets or the offensive mechanisms and stuff like that. So it's between the hive, which basically is about health, giving me 77 health for my team, keeping them up, keeping them good to go. And of course with my heal, which basically is the heal on the ground, also 25 HP armor repair, within that. And I can bust that multiple times. That's on the go. And the hive is for when we're stationary, whether we're fighting NPCs or rogues, or we went rogue, which is higher likely the case. Is going to be the case. Just a brief, those are the brief builds that I done for now. Obviously, this is just set up for prepping for tier 5, because obviously they're going to be, we don't know what parts they're going to have. We don't know how much stuff is going to be included. We don't know if they're going to actually bring the builds back, and then we're going to be doing a whole nother part, or whether they're going to keep the names like what they have them with all the different military gear sets from different places, and we'll just be building like this with heavier gear that goes up to 500. If that's the case, the scenario is going to be close to the same, fluctuating with different variations and skills, just to get a balance at what's needed, per the character and so forth. Obviously, in prep also are the builds that I'm probably going to add to this list is probably a shield build. So the shield build will be in combination. It will be my nomad / shield build, or the nomad for Division 2 to keep the manhunt. So I'll show you that later as I get the parts that make sense for that build. And that's pretty much it for this build for now. All right, that's it. And we are out.
Character. character.